lesson is going to focus on the BBraun Perfusor. The way the structure of this lesson will work is first I will cover the pre-user checks of the BBraun Perfusor, followed by the functions with some troubleshooting at the end. So the BBraun Perfusor is a small, simple, easy to use syringe driver. So just to orientate us slightly to the pump, obviously we've already covered this screen here, the NVG screen and our display screen. So I just want to go over some of the buttons with you. So the button that we have here is the power button, so the on and off button. This allows us to turn the pump obviously on and off, and is also used to put the pump into standby, which we will cover a little bit later. Going along is the bolus button. So this is obviously how we bolus our infusions. And there's different types of boluses that we'll cover when we move on to the functions part of the lesson. This is the cancel button. So this allows us to get to the main menu and to cancel certain things that we do within the pump. These four buttons here allow us to navigate around the pump and also help us change values and things like that, which we will go on to cover. This is the OK button. So obviously this allows us to select certain tasks within the pump. This is our communication button. We don't currently use this within CCAST, but this is a function that the pump does have. And then this is our start stop button. Okay, so this is obviously how we start our infusions and how we stop our infusions. First thing we're going to do is the pre-user check. The first thing we're going to do is a physical check. So this means having a good look at the pump, good 360 view and sort of visual once over of the pump to make sure there's no cracks, no dirt, anything that's broken or any splits on the screen is what we're going to be looking for. So we're just having a good look at all its component parts to make sure that it's all in good working order. Within checking the pump, the also thing you want to have a look at as well is the battery compartment. So to do this, I'm just going to depress this green switch at the back here, remove like so, and then I'm going to pull up the green lever and allow that to slide out into my hand. So looking at the battery, the first thing I'm going to look at, again, any leaks, any cracks, anything that looks broken on the battery, which would mean I need to replace the battery. The other thing that's useful with our piece of equipment is the fact that all ours have expiry dates on. So we're going to check this expiry date, and within CCAST this has to be within 4 years. So we're just going to check that that's in date also. And we're also going to have a little look inside of the battery compartment to make sure, again, nothing's broken or any damage is in there, and just check that we're happy with that. And then we're going to pop the battery back in like so. Whilst I'm looking at the back of the pump, you'll notice here that I have an MOD record. Basically what this is referring to is the fact that this pump has been modified since the manufacturers built it. And the reason we had this is because we have an NVG filter sticker to the front of our pump, which we obviously use when we're flying tactical emissions and things like that. If I flip this screen down, the next thing I'm going to be looking for is the screw covers and the screws. Okay, so this should have 6 screw covers. Here's a nice example there of one that is missing. So what I would be basically checking is to make sure that I do have all my 6 there. And also, as you look at the pump, you can see here that we have some magnets. Okay, so we just want to check as well that this is fitting nicely together like so. Another thing that we need to have a look at with our pumps as well, within CCAST, all our pumps have individual asset numbers. So we would have a look here and just to check that this asset number is correct against its pre-user check. So we just check that those are there as well. As you can see here, we have a serviceability sticker, and this is where we would check the date on this to ensure that this pump has recently been in service. If we turn the pump to the side here, we have here, if we remove this cap like so, this is where the emergency release button is, okay? And you may see in there, we can press that button, so if our pump was to lose power or anything like that, we could press that to be in order to be able to release the syringe. And that just sits back on top like so. On the bottom of the pump, if I just turn like so, you can see here that we have 4 feet. And the thing with these is that these can come out, okay? So these can actually become lost. So we need to make sure that we do have all these four feet within the pump, because obviously this could cause issues when we're back on the aircraft, such as FOD and things. So we need to check that they're in place like so. Also what we have here is a BBraun modification sticker. So we're just going to check that that's there as well and that's intact. Next thing we're going to do is cover the functional checks of this BBraun Perfusor. So the first thing we need to do is turn this pump on. So we're going to press this button like so. As you can see, as I turn it on, these illuminate, and what's it going to do is the drive hand is going to extend. As that's extended, you'll see here that it says self-test active. So this is actually just doing a self-test within the pump to make sure that this pump is able to run. So we'll just allow that to do that. Once I get here, you will see it says open syringe holder and insert syringe to press C to enter the parameters. The first thing we want to do is check that our syringe holder can actually turn to 90 degrees. So we're going to do this like so. Turn it like that, and then it should say syringe change, so please insert syringe. So we know that this pump is ready to accept a syringe. Once we've done that, we're going to return like so. As I've done that, it's now asking me to press C to enter the parameters. So I would press like so, and I would come into the main menu button. What I need to do now is scroll down with these navigation arrows all the way down into options, and then I'm going to press the left arrow in order to go into there. Within CCAR, some of these parameters we like set at certain limits. So the first thing I'm going to do is check that the pressure is set at 5 and the data lac is off and the bolus rate is 800 mils an hour. I'm going to scroll down here with this down arrow. I'm going to check that my contrast is set to 9, my display light is 9, my keypad light is 9, and my alarm volume is 9. The next thing I'm going to do is check my date and time is correct in regards to Zulu. Micromode should be set as inactive. And then I'll press the C button to come out of that main menu. Once I've done that, I will then turn the pump off. So to do so, I'm just going to press and hold this button here. And as you can see, it says pump turns off in 1 second. It's approaching its parking position, and that is the end of the 373. What we're going to show you now is how to set up a simpler infusion. Turn the syringe head to 90 degrees. Take down the faceplate. Insert the syringe in between the green clasp and the side of your pump, like so. Close it with syringe holder and close everything all back all together. Then you can select the correct syringe, so BBraun Omnifix. Once we come to this screen here, the main menu, this is obviously where you're going to put all your infusion parameters. So let's imagine we're setting up a simple infusion such as propofol. So first I'm going to do is enter my rate. So I go in by pressing the left arrow, change the parameters with the navigation arrows, and then I press OK. Next, volume to be infused. Same as before. Then, for good practice, I'm going to go into my special functions, and I'm going to label my drug. So I'll go into drug library. Then I would need to look for the drug that I require. So in this example, we're going to use propofol. Use preset values, we'll say no. And then I can press start. And my infusion is running. With your infusion, you might require to change your rate. So the first way of doing this is press the left arrow, and you can go up or down, and then as it says on the screen, OK to confirm. Another way of doing this is to stop your infusion, and then you can enter the rate here. Confirm with OK, press start. What I'm going to show you now is how to bolus with this infusion. There's 3 types of boluses: manual, preset, or calculated rate bolus. So to do this, press the bolus button, and this is how we deliver a manual bolus. As it says on the screen, press OK to manual bolus. So I press and hold. I deliver 1 ml. The next bolus is a preset volume bolus. So press the bolus button. Press your left arrow to set how much you would like to give. So if I press 2, and as it says on there, press bolus to start bolus. We can stop a bolus also by pressing OK to stop the bolus. The final bolus is a calculated rate bolus. So we press the bolus button again, press the left arrow, and then as you see here, set bolus time by pressing OK. So we would do that, and then we could change how fast we would like to give this in by pressing the up and down arrow, and then press bolus to start bolus. If you require to change your syringe, what you would do here, stop the infusion, turn this to 90 degrees, and as you can see, the dry pen's expanding. Open down the faceplate, and this is how we would change our syringe. So what we're going to do now is set up an infusion using our dose rate calculator. So go into the special functions, and then go into dose rate calculation. So we're going to set in our concentration. So let's imagine we're doing noradrenaline, and we're going to use a concentration of 4 milligrams in 50 mils. Use patient weight, so we'll say yes, and we'll imagine that our patient is 80 kilograms. And then we're going to select our sort of dose unit. So we're going to do mics per kilogram per minute. And then we would set our dose. So I've put in there 0.16. When we're happy with that, we press OK to confirm. And then we would go and label our drug as we would before on our simple infusion. So we'd go back down to special functions, drug library. High noradrenaline. We'd say no here, we would not use our preset values, and then we would start the infusion. So what we'll do now is just have a little navigation of the screen while the infusion's actually running. So what you can do down here is if you press the down arrow, you can get some real-time information. So for example, it'll give you volume to be infused, time set, etc. So going around to display screen, what we have here is the battery capacity, so how much battery is in your infusion. If you've got your pump on charge, you will see a plug symbol there as well to say that it's on the mains. Obviously we're not on the mains at the moment. What you've got here is your inclusion pressure and your set limit, okay? So that's set at 5, and then my inclusion pressure is obviously set at 1. This is to do with your therapy profile, which isn't really relevant to us at the moment using this infusion. This arrow here means that I've set a volume to be infused on this infusion, or it's the active time. These arrows going across the screen here means that the infusion is actually running. Obviously, this is the dose that I have set. So what we're going to cover now is a bit of troubleshooting. Obviously, the main thing that can happen with this pump is that we get alarms. So there are 5 different types of alarms, which I'll pop on the screen now for you. But the main distinction between the alarms is that either your infusion will be running or your infusion will be stopped. And obviously, if your infusion stopped, that means that your patient is not getting your drug. So obviously, that's something that we would obviously need to act upon straight away. So if I give you an example of an operating alarm, so for example, if I was to open the syringe holder, as you can see, I have a red LED flashing and it is saying syringe holder open, so press OK to confirm that. So what I've managed to fabricate here for you is an example of a device alarm. So as you can see, I have a red flashing LED and it says device alarm on the screen. So how I would rectify this is turn the pump on and off, and if it was to persist, I would take this away to my technician for it to be repaired. What I will show you now is an example of a pre-alarm. So what I've done is I have set a volume to be infused on this pump. Obviously it's going to alarm in a moment and I will get an amber LED to say that that's a pre-alarm. So as you can see, when I have a pre-alarm, what you can see come up on the screen there, it's asking me to mute, so I can mute the alarm. And then obviously I've got a 3-minute countdown timer there before obviously then that's going to turn into a red alarm. Okay, so I'll press OK on that. So that's the end of the BBraun Perfusor lesson. Obviously you can refer to your manuals if you want to have a look at any other information that we have discussed today. But that was just sort of a quick whistle-stop tour in regards to the BBraun Perfusor.